Hey everyone, and welcome back to Episode Club. Today we're going to be talking Stranger Things, Season 2, Chapter 1, Madmax, and Chapter 2, Trick or Treat Freak. And joining me today is the Lord Commander AK and Fandom D Saint, the Watcher on the Funko wall. So whoever gets to unmute first, obviously, gets to talk first. Rules of Episode Club.
Greetings, YouTube. Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me on again, Kenzie. It's always fun hanging out with these fine folks, and we got some stranger chat about to ensue. So let's get into it.
And I am Fandom D saying glad to be here talking about Stranger Things Season 2. I wish I, binged Season 1 ahead of time so I could have been part of the Season 1 conversations, Probably would have been defending Dustin then, but surely and surely I will be defending Dustin this time around for these Season 2 damn discussions. I will be watching you, AK. There is no Dustin shade allowed.
Bullshit. I will throw all of the damn shade. You and Dustin can catch all my shade.
All the shade for Dustin. But why don't we start where kind of the episode starts off? And we start about a year later, so it's been about what would you say, like about a 10 to 11 month time jump to October 29th, 1984 in Pittsburgh. And basically we see an 11, but not 11. Oh, we get some new characters. Oh,
hold on, Kenzie, you froze there for a bit.
Oh, god dang it. So we start about 10 to 11 months into the future, and we start in Pittsburgh with some new characters and a person who has 008 on their arms, and they get away. So, new characters. What do we think about that? And all that fun jazz.
I thought 8's introduction was pretty cool. Since 11 was 11, I always thought that there would be more kids showing up. It's very reminiscent to me of the Manticore Super Soldier program that was on Dark Angel years ago. And it's basically what these scientists did. They bred kids with, specific engineering to be good at different tasks. 11 is telekinetic. I think she got one or two other extra things going on with her as well. And then number 8, she has the psychic power. She can manipulate you into seeing whatever she wants you to see. And that's basically how things work with Manticore. And it's an interesting concept to spin. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was a bit confused at the beginning though, because when the date came up and it said like they were in a different city, for a minute I thought it was a flashback to when Hopper was, the cop in the big city. But that's not what it was, although I would still be interested in seeing that storyline. He seems like he'd be a hoot. And there's an emergency alert. Apparently there's flooding ensuing. Okay.
Oh no.
So yeah, excuse the beeping.
Oh no.
My bad. Yeah, it's been raining and ridiculous all day.
It's okay. Don't worry, we get those alerts at the same time. But fandom, the Pittsburgh storyline, it seems that we're getting this season for now. What do you think?
For starters, that was not no flooding warning. It's the upside down. You better, lock up everything, the doors, the windows. Something's coming for you, AK. But yeah, for me, it reminded me of, the Weapon X program, in this case, maybe, Weapon 11 program or so. It's like, okay, how many of these others are we going to be getting? You have 11 and we got 8. So you're telling me, okay, since it ain't 10, are we gonna see like 10 later on? Or are we gonna see 9 later on? Or some still alive or dead or so? But good thing we actually saw like even like use her abilities though. I was like, wait a minute, this kind of like, psychic paper. Maybe will this work on everyone? Some people, what it will be, I don't know, but I'm damn intrigued to see how it's going to play out within this season.
Yeah. My kind of thought on it is like, I was like, okay, are we, because I know the marketing for this was Stranger Things too. So I was like, is it one of those things where we're starting half of the season with new characters and then we'll get our older characters? But yeah, we get some answers to saying that there's at least 11 people who have this tattoo on their arms. So it's who's patient 0? Who's 001? Is it an adult? Obviously, because these are older teenagers. So it's like
tinfoil. I think 11's mom was the first.
Could be that way. Yeah,
because 11 got her powers. It kind of like how what's her name, Alia in the Dune series got her powers. Her mom went through the drinking the water of life to open up all of her prescient powers and whatnots, and she did it while she was pregnant. So all of that also passed on to Alia. And I think where 11 and 8 are concerned, that it had to have been some type of genetic manipulation when their moms were a part of whatever experiments the government was paying them for. And it manifested differently in all of the kids. So it'd be very interesting to see what all the other ones can do. I hope they bring a few more in, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Who knows? They happen. So, yeah, we see the effects of what I guess her name is Callie can do, and it's funny because you see it from the officer's perspective. They're like, "Why didn't you continue chasing?" And it's like, "Oh, because I can't actually see it." So it's like that's because you show that power, which is pretty cool. Because we know just 11 just has not basic level, but like 11 just closing doors while a bridge collapsing is more advanced.
There's something interesting that I actually just thought about. I don't recall seeing it from anyone else, but when that cop braked and he went to that skidding stop, his partner beside him was still very lucid to what was going on, and he was able to get out the car very easily. But the driver, he was extremely disoriented, even stumbling out the car. So I'm wondering if when Kali uses her powers and sets it on a specific person, is there some kind of side effect that we don't know about that possibly drains the person her powers directed to? I don't know, just random thought. It probably doesn't amount to anything, but seems odd to me.
Well, it's a possibility because the other people around obviously didn't see bridge collapse, so it's like it's selective almost. So it's entirely possible. Now we'll just go to Dustin, who is Phantom Say wants to defend, and all the boys have gone back together, and they're going to the arcade, called Palace Arcade, and they find out that someone has beaten Dustin's highest score, and they're trying to figure out who that is, and it's someone named Madmax. So, arcade, Will, and his visions, all of that stuff. We'll just talk about all that.
Go ahead, BBM.
For starters, yes, a Dustin scene, but mainly the whole cruise scene, returning, going to the arcade reminds me of the days when I would go in the arcade. Even when they got someone to like defeat a score, I was like, well, this kind of reminds me of like currently where I'm playing my mobile game, Toy Crash. Well, no, not Toy Crash. The thing is Blast. I don't know, because the lettering is always white, and it's like, I don't know, it could be colorblind or whatever, but I can hardly read it sometimes. But I'm always ahead of the scoreboard, and if someone knocks me out, I can't get like extra coins or anything, so I'd be pissed off as hell. So I could pretty much relate to the situation here, and I'm curious, okay, who's this new character and how they're gonna damn affect the damn plot. Let's see how it goes. But also, you don't pimp your damn sister out. Good lesson. Good lesson.
But seriously, the Cheetos guy, I just saw him in a commercial. I don't remember what it was for, but he looked like he was wearing the same damn outfit that he wore in this episode. And first of all, young man, you do not get to bargain for a woman's time. And this is how shallow he is. He knows he has no chance, so he has to resort to bribery to get the girl, which obviously doesn't work. But it's a bit ridiculous, and he's the guy that's in charge, and he's just walking around looking weird and creepy, eating Cheetos all the time. Like, they don't even call him by his name. I don't think anybody knows his name. He's just the Cheetos guy. Yeah, he's just weird and creepy and whatnot. He could have easily told them who Max was, what she looked like, but nah, he just wanted to play his little creepy guessing games and bleh.
Yeah, creepy people in arcades, Ben. But yeah. And before we go on down the complete rabbit hole, I wanted to just give a shout out to everybody who's joined us. Dornish Wench, Johnny Be Crazy, who couldn't join with us today. He's taking a well-deserved night off because he doesn't usually get to do that all that often.
Yes, he needs his beauty rest.
And we got Fandom D State. I don't know who he is, as well as Alicia Kingston. Again, who are these people? But
you know what? I heard about those two wankers. Y'all should just stay the hell away from them because they got fucking problems. I don't know what the deal is. I try to talk to them, but they don't listen to me. So just saying.
Yeah, so watch out for that. And Peter Griffin as well. That was in the chat. So yeah, thank you everybody. And obviously, I am not a child of the 80s, so there wasn't really, and I'm more of the 2000s, not even. So the arcade thing was, and we don't really have many up here.
That's a shame. I think you're missing out.
So they had them. They like brought them into like, well, they have them at like some spots, not like all over. And the big ones now is just at the movie theater. So it's like you have to go to the movie theater to then be in the arcade. And it's just like...
Right, yeah. Unless you have like a Dave & Buster's in your town, there you have a fully stocked arcade. Yeah. And I am an 80s kid, so it brings me a lot of nostalgia because I remember every Friday was pizza day. And you bring $1, you get a slice of pizza from our local pizzeria that was always delicious and had delicious beef patties to go with it. And I love everything about the 80s. I always remember going to the arcade too, putting your quarters in line next to the person that's in front of you. It's a blast.
Yeah.
Speaking of the damn 80s, was this the episode where you hear the song Whip It? Or was that another episode? Yo.
No.
Love that song. Immediately flashback to that episode, and I believe it was Full House when they had the 3 women singing that song. Amazing.
Yeah, because it's I think it's Max's introduction scene with her brother. Yeah. The arcade thing. I mean, like we had them, but I didn't go very often, and I think it was just recently, like they've started to, like within the last 5 or 6 years they brought Dave & Buster's up here. Not sure though. It's like not that long ago, and there's not that many. But yeah, the fact that Mike resorts to stealing Nancy's piggy bank money and all of that, like it seems like they still have that sibling rivalry, but it's like elevated because they're like a year older.
And I don't know that I would call it sibling rivalry though. I mean, after the way they reconnected last season, it was kind of a really dick move to go in there and steal out of her piggy bank. You could have just asked her, and she probably would have floated you $6 and said, "Here, go have fun." But he chose the asshole route, so he deserved to get yelled at. And I know he's Brody and in his feelings. He misses his girl, and he's still processing everything that happened and whatnot. But come on, bruh. It's not like she can't find you. She knows where you sleep.
Yeah. It's just
The
not
things
that
we
far
do
away.
for love, huh?
Bullshit. That had nothing to do with love. He
I
was
mean,
just lazy as hell. The only one that was worth something that summer was freaking Lucas.
yeah, you got a new set of teeth and everything. Or Dawson got the new set of teeth, but yeah, there's the and you still see that Mike's dad is just his only one line is "Don't run in the house," which I mean,
He does absolutely nothing.
at least it's some line because and he's observant of them running in the house, which is something which was I think his introduction scene last season was "What did I do?" Like, so it's being more observant. And anyway, when we get to the arcade, we see that Dig Dug, which is I guess Dustin's favorite game, has the highest competitor, and they're trying to figure out who Mad Max is, if it's a girl, if it's a boy, and they're just like off in their own world before Will kind of has a vision, so to speak, of the upside down, and it's like, oh no, so this he's been dealing with this for pretty much since we left them in the show. It just gets creepy, and yeah, I mean, it's because it's hard to decipher like what we're trying to see because I think we see more of it in the second episode, but the upside down is still back. So, what do y'all think?
I think it's him connecting to the wireless network, or rather, the wireless network that is the upside down connecting to him, because we know where his story leads later on, and it makes sense that those little breadcrumbs were all connected. I don't think I believe they called it the Mind Flayer has complete hold on him just yet here for that scene, but you can tell it's coming. Like his episodes progressively last longer and longer until that final time where he was fully possessed. So it was interesting to see, and I do love him and Mike's friendship, because Mike is the one that like always notices if he disappears or if something could be wrong, and it's a big kudos to Mike's character for he's pretty much the de facto leader of the party. So he steps up and he does leader things. Sometimes he needs to sit down and shut up.
Also, I'm happy we're getting to see more of Will, because in the first season we saw him in the first episode. Occasionally, he would just appear here and there, just saying something random, and then the finale, boom, he's back. But now within this season, since we have him about, we're going to get more from this child actor. See, okay, could he act? Could he not act? How he does well with the group. We're going to see that with him tackling it, him still connection, with the damn upside down. And seriously, these damn kids in these schools calling him zombie boy? Come on now. Leave him be. And it's been what? Like you said, 10, 11 months, so almost a year. And they're still doing this zombie boy thing. It kind of reminds me of a Vampire Diaries, where this one kid kind of returns from the dead and stuff. And they're still bullying him because of that. Because they thought that he just died and he just suddenly just comes back. And it's come on now. He has some problems. Help him out, welcome him back into, class thing. Don't just end up calling him freaking zombie boy.
Kids are horrible. Absolutely horrible. I can't even call it shade. It's so much worse than that, because kids are just fucking ruthless for no damn reason at all. And who can blame him for having the extreme PTSD that he has? Not only did he finally get back home after being in this weird frigid universe where he almost died of hypothermia and then was almost freaking sacrificed by the Demogorgon, the kid's got some heavy issues, and I do love that they gave him a bigger plot point for this season, because they lucked out with this cast of kids, because normally child actors are not that talented, but these kids, every last one of them, they have it.
Yeah, they really did. They brought in a lot of actors, and you'll see these kids. I think even now, like they're really starting to evolve their resume, so to speak. So it'll be fun to kind of continue to watch them grow up as actors, or real actors, not child actors, uh, so to speak. And Johnny said that Mike is the Jon Snow of this story, and it's like, oh no. So it's like then Will Samuel Tarly almost, because it's like he has to take care of him. And when you guys were bringing this up, it's almost that the Wheelers are taking care of the Byers kids almost, because like Nancy always watches out for Jonathan, and Mike is always watching out for Will. So it's like that dichotomy, which is nice. And yeah, they go continue on to play at the arcade, and then we see them that Hawkins is gearing up for Halloween, and Hopper's got an investigation to deal with. It's not missing children, it's rotting pumpkins. And it's not his most interesting, but hey, I mean, if the Demogorgon or the Upside Down is involved, he's like, I'm on it. So Hopper, when we get back to Hopper and Joyce, we'll rope in, I guess, Joyce in this too, because we'll talk about the adult a little.
Yeah, Hopper is, he's usually very laid back until he starts, seeing that something is actually happening. Like, he'll treat it, I don't want to say completely wrong, but he doesn't, express a whole lot of emotion. He's very nonchalant about some things, if you catch my meaning by that. So when he sees that, this issue could possibly be something bigger than just a bunch of pumpkins, he goes in all in, and he's trying to balance all of that also with taking care of 11. And that can be a very stressful time for anyone, let alone the chief of police. I don't care how small your town is, it's still going to be a lot of work for a single parent, which is basically what Hopper is now. But it was really cool to see that, we had those couple flashback scenes that tied all this together, and it was good to see that he was basically getting a second chance at fatherhood. I don't think it's anything he was looking for, but he was definitely the right person for that job. As far as Joyce is concerned, we get the actual Samwise Gamgee on the screen, and I thought that was brilliant. I won't specifically talk about his and Joyce's relationship too much, because there's things that progress. There might be spoilers for the next episodes that we're going to discuss. But with Bob, it's an interesting situation. He does always want to do good, and 98% of the time, he's good. I mean, he's let's see. I don't know what title you would give him in the party. Maybe he would be like the party scholar, because when things pop up and they can't necessarily figure it out, Bob comes in. And he sees the puzzle, he explains the puzzle, and then he solves the puzzle. And I thought that was pretty fitting. And kudos, to the Duffer Brothers for all of the nostalgia they give me, because Samwise, he's always going to be known as Samwise Gamgee. But my first thought, I will always see him as Mikey. And this is a damn Goonies-like adventure, if there ever was one. It's a much darker adventure than the Goonies, but it was so fun to watch, and I do love the dynamic that Hopper had with 11, like teaching her, all the nuances that you wouldn't necessarily learn if you just sent the kid to school. He realizes that, street smarts will definitely give a big play for 11 growing up and developing as a person. So I love that. You know, the thing with Joyce and Bob was cool too. But, you know, I always got the gist, even from the very beginning, that it wasn't quite exactly the right fit. And I think as it progresses, it'll be shown why it wasn't really a good fit. But that's all I got for those scenes.
So for me, Bob, ever since season 1, every time I just see a new adult into this whole show, I don't know if I should trust them or not. So that's like one of the questions for you. I have for you, you know, Mackenzie. Do you trust Bob or not? I see anyone. I don't trust anyone. I don't even hardly trust Max. I don't trust a brother. But I can surely tell you this: I do still trust Dustin. But yeah, Bob is good to see. You know, Joy is in another relationship because she had a divorce from her previous husband. So it's good that she's like in a new relationship. You know, again. But hell, she's still a protective mother. You still gotta love that. You know, she's still like looking out for her son. It's like, okay, is everything okay? Everything all right? And stuff. Taking, you know, Will to see, you know, Dr. Owen, and I guess we're gonna get to that like later on. Hopper, still love you, dude, but I don't know, because in the finale of season 1, we see you get in that damn car. Like, we still haven't seen that full conversation of what the hell happened within that damn car. Still trust you, but seriously, man, eat healthy. Stop with the damn donuts. Eat an apple. Come on, we need you, because right now you're raising 11. We don't want you having any health problems because you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that for sure. It's I don't know. There's so many things. There's so many layers to Hopper, and I love it. But you know, when it comes to, you know, thinking again with Sam and damn it, what's her name? Winona Ryder's character.
Joyce,
yes. I always thought she was a better fit with Hopper. And, you know, they were talking a little bit about how they were in high school. And, you know, Bob even called it out. He's like, you know, I always liked you in high school, but you never gave me the time of day. Well, yeah, she was kind of out your league, Bob. That's, I mean, it is what it is. And now it seems like he's trying so hard to, you know, push how great he can be. Not that there's anything wrong with that. No, his character was a very good character, but I don't think he fully grasped and understood what that family went through. So he thought just, you know, moving to a new area would be cool, or trying to do whatever he does. It you can tell it isn't always going to work out. At least that's what I saw.
Yeah. As Johnny says, well, Bob has some nice DSLR. I guess it's the camera. To be fair to Joyce, I mean, for Hopper, I mean, we kind of leave him. We start with him kind of where we left off, because he was taking care of 11, and it's sweet, like, because that was that whole journey that he had with her essentially all last season of, I thought I was looking for Will, but I'm also looking for another child at the same time. And so I guess he moved, or like that's like his summer cabin or someone's abandoned summer cabin or something.
No, it was his family's cabin.
There we go. Because like this was something new, and with that whole thing, 11 has new hair. She grew a lot of hair in 1 year. And yeah, she's like 815, and he's like 815. She's like 815, because he was late, and you couldn't not start off 11 without waffles, because like that's like her thing, and she ate the waffles. But I guess they were eating their meal cold unless 11 figured out how to use the microwave. But I mean, this is the logic in me thinking random crap like that.
No, I think Hopper would have showed her, because you know he does have to leave her out there by herself for hours at a time. So I think he would keep some food stocked and show her at least how to use the microwave to warm it up.
And the pumpkin thing, I was just like, oh great, like all the pumpkins. And it's like like when he's like with the goo, especially on the tree. I think it's in the next episode, but I was like, oh yeah, this is like Demogorgon or upside down crap because it's like sticky stuff. And with Joyce, I mean, it's nice that she's in a relationship, but they kind of did push her and Hopper together a lot because they were basically the two only adults that were the main focus of last season. So to have her kind of veer to Bob and Hopper kind of be the solo, and it's interesting, but I mean, Jopper probably exists, or whatever that ship name is, and I don't know how long Bob will be around in that capacity. I mean, he's probably in season 3, but I don't know how, because I feel like Joyce is almost too much if she doesn't, like we talked about, I think the last time you were on AK, how Joyce pretty much doesn't need anybody else to check her, because of how good of a person she is by herself with her kids. It's just like Bob is almost will be an annoyance coming up, especially when he's like, let's move. It's like, what?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's specifically an annoyance, but like I said earlier, it seems like he's trying too hard, but then also Joyce, it almost seems like she's settling. Like, you know, after all the stuff happened, you know, I can only assume that her PTSD was very strong also. And, you know, humans don't always want to be alone. So I think that she, you know, Bob was there and he was very nice, treating her well, you know, got along with the kids, and he was convenient, I think would be the right word, because I really don't think she ever saw long term with him, even with the move. You know, she never said she would actually do it, if I remember correctly. But it just like you could see there was some type of chemistry to them, because it wouldn't have worked if there wasn't. But they're both, you know, playing themselves short, so to speak.
Yeah. It's almost those things of like, well, this is like it's a convenience kind of thing, and not like I don't see a lot. And plus, the kid, like her sons are like, he's all right. Like, so I mean, yeah, why not?
He took advantage of the whole situation happening with Will. He's like, you know what? I can move right in at the right time, and boom.
Shut your blasphemous mouth right now. Stop it. You will not taint Bob's good name like that, sir. I will not allow it. How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We can, I guess, talk about the boys, or do you want to catch up with Nancy and Steve and Jonathan in this?
All I gotta say is Popeyes over KFC. That's all I gotta say.
Always Popeyes. That them biscuits alone will sell it.
I haven't had both in years, so I don't give an accurate description. Chat, what do you think?
If you ever see or go to Popeyes and you got those damn biscuits, make sure you got some jelly and something to damn drink. Don't have it dry.
Something
We're not gonna
right.
see you.
You need something to drink, and I wouldn't necessarily use grape jelly, but I would definitely get some honey packets. And when you get home, you warm the biscuit up a little bit in the microwave, and you spray that honey on there. Oh, deliciousness.
Nice. Yeah, for the Nancy and Steve thing, he's like, oh yeah, like I just won't go to college so I can be with you during senior year. It's like, that sounds like a healthy like thing to do. It's like, I mean, in the 80s, I guess it was more acceptable, but now it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna delay my whole life just so I can watch you go to class every day during senior year. It's like, I don't know. Nancy also seems almost too like because she kind of gets fed up with him in the end of when they go to the Halloween party because she gets drunk. But
yeah, I think when it comes to Nancy, it's almost the same situation as Joyce and Bob. Like after everything in season 1, like she, I think, fully realizes that Steve is really not the one she needs to be with. She is ambitious and very much her own thinker. And, not that it's a bad thing at all, but Steve is just, I still don't like his character. I don't know about you guys, but he, you can tell by going over their conversation, he really doesn't expect anything better of himself. He has like no ambition. You have this application for college that you have not filled out and it's due in the morning. You put some bullshit answers on it and you're expecting Nancy to just drop whatever plan she might have and sneak over your house and help her write it. It just didn't seem like a good look for him at all. And I think he recognizes that, things are slipping from him, but, he wants to say, if I stay here, I can be around, and, you'll be a senior and I'll still be able to, come hang out with you and blah, blah, blah. And you really look at Nancy's face, she's just like, I mean, like she doesn't necessarily say the words then and reject him, but you can tell by her facial expressions, she's not feeling him anymore. Like she's seen through him, I guess. She's seen all parts of him and she's no longer impressed. She's not that shy little girl anymore, and she's seeing the world in a whole new light after surviving the Upside Down and the Demogorgon. And Steve isn't going to be able to catch up to that. He doesn't, I don't think he has that capacity in him. He was great with Dustin, but he's a shit boyfriend.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to kind of catch up. I mean, like he was there in the last episode when they at the buyer's house, but it's like that's like a small fraction of what she's kind of went through. And I know we don't have you have to write an essay to get into colleges or universities here, which is apply and you just show your grades and then that's it. So I was like, I'm always fascinated by that.
It depends on what scholarships you're trying to go out for. Here, I believe we have the FAFSA form, and that's for anyone that might need financial aid or whatnots. They fill that out, and that's the only thing they need. But if you're going for something specific, sometimes there are different programs that will give you grants and whatnots that you don't have to pay back. You have to write some type of essay or something to actually get that grant. So I imagine that it was something like that. But then Steve, he doesn't seem to care about it, and he's just saying, I'll probably end up working for my dad anyway. He has no motivation to get out of this small town and see what the world truly is. It's kind of ridiculous that he didn't evolve past that state after everything last season.
Yeah, and Jonathan has dreams to go to NYU. So Nancy, there you go.
Since he was 6, the boy already had his life planned out. He knew he was going to NYU. It was probably going to be for photography because he loves taking pictures, and he's decent at it. That from what we've seen, and again, Steve just doesn't have that drive, and I think Nancy completely sees that here in the first episode, and she's already pulling away from him, and he feels it. So he's trying to do whatever he can to make that happen, and it really doesn't work out for him.
Oh, and
so yeah, just seeing the whole scene where Steve had to write a letter reminds me of when I was in high school, where my counselor's like, oh, you have to write a college letter about your damn self, just in case if the colleges would want those type of letters. In my college, they really didn't need it. You just have to fill out an application, let's see your grades, you're in or you're not in. And for me in season 1, I really wasn't that much of a fan of Steve. When I was hearing through you guys' stream and rewatching some clips, I'm like, you know what? He's not that bad of a guy. So, if you're not into him, maybe he'll warm up to you this season, or maybe he won't. I don't know. But for me, just seeing the situation between the relationship between Nancy and Steve, it's like, I wonder, does she even like him anymore because she's just like lost her feelings for him, or is she still like blaming herself for like the death of Barbara because she was with Steve to begin with, while Barbara pretty much was being taken away. So I don't know if she just purposely just like, pushing him away because it's like another reminder, you know.
You know what? That's actually another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. While they were having this conversation in the car, he's saying, well, you come over tonight and help me fix the essay and whatnot. And she's like, no, we have dinner with Barb's parents tonight. And he straight up rolls his eyes and huffs and puffs like he's annoyed by that. Like, bitch, that was her best friend. And she died because she left her out there alone to be with you. How fucking dare you be so nonchalant about what she's going through right now? And I think that even more set in Nancy's mind that Steve is just not who she should be with.
Man. Especially when she sees the picture of Barb in the bathroom facing the door, which I'm like, that's an odd placement for a picture. And I'm like, I guess it kind of makes sense when she's going into the bathroom, but I was just like, oh, okay. But yeah, like that whole conversation that they have with Barb's parents, and the fact that they want to hire a PI to try and find Barb, it's like, and they're like trying to figure out, do we say anything? Do we not? Do we like keep them on this path? It's like, that's a hard thing for them specifically to deal with, because they're still teenagers, and they're like, do we tell them that we know she's dead, and like lose all that hope or not? It's like, that's a heavy thing to tell somebody in general, but it's to tell your friends' parents that you know that they're dead, but they don't. So it's just like they're like, let's maybe not touch that for now, and it's like, smart idea, because at this point they don't know if they could ever get her back, like her body back. So it's like, I don't know.
I don't know that. Damn it! Just lost my frame of thought. With Barb, I don't think that they're withholding that information to shield her parents from any type of pain. They're not saying anything because they're kind of under contract not to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really have a choice, but the guilt is eating away at Nancy so much, and compounded with everything else that's going on in her head. She doesn't want to, have that burden anymore. And I think it does hurt her to see Barb's parents suffering, and she wants to help with that as well. Give them some type of closure. If she spoke, she could do that. But she knows she can't because, she'll probably get shot in the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like at the same time, it's like, would they even believe her? Like, oh, your daughter was like captured by some type of monster. They can be like, wait a minute, you're still playing some type of joke on us or something, and then leave. And it's ridiculous. Like, they really are pretty much trapped and just not telling the truth.
Yeah, their hands are definitely tied.
Yeah, and it's a tough decision to be in. And I think the last part of this episode that we have to kind of talk about is just the Will and his whole doctor appointment, and I guess the rest of the kids. I mean, it's not surprising that Will has to go to treatment to deal with what he dealt with, obviously, because of everything that had happened. The doctor, so suspicious. I mean, that's like such a government plant. It's not even funny, especially when they have like the camera in the room, and it's like obviously directed to surviving members of the government, the ones that were killed or supposedly killed in the end of the last episode. And it's nice that Joyce and Hopper are there for Will. I'm surprised, I guess, because Bob couldn't take off work, that he wasn't there, because I feel like if he wants to be involved in Joyce's kids' lives, that he would maybe try and do that. But I know he's like, gotta go work. But yeah, that obviously shows that Joyce and Hopper still have that emotional connection with Will, and I kind of enjoy it. I mean, it's nice because where we end off with Will last season was the coughing up of the brown, I want to say slug kind of thing. So like, I'm surprised I don't catch that in like if he does like MRIs or stuff like that. But anyway, I'm rambling. The doctor appointment. How's that?
Yeah, I dig it. Shit, ramble away.
No, go ahead. Not just me.
Yeah, the Dr. Dan Owen. Don't trust his ass at all. I forgot I wrote something in the notes about it though. But yeah, even when he was talking about like the whole PTSD thing or anything, I'm like, are you sure it's PTSD, homie? It could be very much something damn else. And then literally within the next scene, you have him like recording everything. I'm just like, come on now. Come on now. Hopefully, Hopper is like knows everything what's going on, but at the same time, I would have said something to freaking Joyce, but even know how she is, just telling her everything, she might even go ballistic, because how she's protective with Will. But it's good that he tells like, yo, if anything happens, you tell me first. You don't go to them, you go to me, which he pretty much does, I believe, in the next episode. So that was good.
Yeah, definitely. And again, shout out for the 80s nostalgia for having Paul Reiser take on that role. Matthew Modine is who we had last season. He was in a whole bunch of stuff back in the day in the 80s, but I think his most memorable movie is Vision Quest. And, with Paul Reiser, he, I believe, was on a few different TV shows, but he was also one of the scientists in the Alien franchise, the original ones with Sigourney Weaver. So that was it's pretty awesome just to see these guys back on screen. And when he's talking to Joyce and Hopper, he's trying to keep a mellow attitude about himself to, be positive for them. But if you really listen to what he's saying, he has no damn clue what's going on with Will. Absolutely no clue. And he doesn't know how to solve that. So, and you can see that Joyce is totally justified in all the things that she's saying. What is wrong with my baby boy? You keep saying all this stuff, but what does that mean? We're just supposed to watch and let this happen, and then what? It's it's kind of ridiculous, and I totally don't blame her for how she feels.
Yeah, it's like you inject him with whatever you're injecting him with and monitoring how his brain works, but does that really helping him? I don't know. Yeah, we kind of leave them in that weird limbo state for just a little bit until we go back to Joyce and Hopper and all that. So the boys, and we get the introduction with Max and Billy, and all the girls are like, ooh, when Billy shows up out of the car, and that's when I think Whippet is playing. And then the boys interacting with Max, I mean, it's kind of expected because they've haven't had 11 in their life for I'm assuming the same amount of time, even though 11 is around. They just don't obviously see her. So for a new girl to show up is interesting, and plus they're at that age where if a new girl shows up, they're like, ooh. And yeah, because Johnny wanted me to talk about Max. I think Max is a good addition to their quote unquote squad, so to speak, even though she's not really introduced very heavy in these 2 episodes. I think she's a very nice, what's the word? Not like a I can't remember the word right now, but it's she's yeah, and as well, it's a different type of obvious. She's a different type of personality compared to 11, because 11 was quiet, didn't really say very much, and she's just there all the time. While Max is just does whatever she wants, and she doesn't care. Especially in the next episode, and she calls them creeps because they keep following her around school. It's yeah, that's what they do. Especially Dustin and Lucas try to follow her around school, and she doesn't appreciate it very much. She's not obviously the type of girl to be like, ooh, someone likes me. It's no, she's no. She's a hardcore skater girl. almost.
Right. And they made it so damn obvious. Like the minute the girl walks into class and she gets her introduction, she goes to, sit down, all four of them turn around and watch her every step. Nobody else in the class does this but them. And I'm like, really, y'all that stressed over these damn video games that you're pretty much stalking this little girl right now? She was totally justified calling them creeps because that's what the hell they were doing. Like, what is wrong with you? It's not okay to just follow random girls around. You bastards, get your shit together.
In their defense, the damn nerds becoming young adults. It's what happens. It's the norm. It doesn't excuse the fact. No, it doesn't. It should have had to some at Jonathan. Please talk to him. Even then, who knows? Jonathan may give him a camera to go, spy on freaking Max and actually take photos of her from X amount of distance away. Who knows? Who knows?
Exactly.
This damn.
Yeah, and also, with Max, of course, we got Billy, the fucking Red Ranger, is now in Hawkins, and he is annoying. I do not like this kid. I don't know what the deal is. We don't know a whole lot of background information on him or on Max, honestly, except for they moved from California. And Billy, he seems to be quite in his feelings about that. Max is not his, actual sister. It's his stepsister. I believe they have the same fathers, I think. But their dad's current wife is Max's mom, and then the ex is Billy's mom, I think. But he's a complete douche from the moment he walks on the scene. I don't know why them girls were staring at his jeans so much. His ass looked kind of flat to me, but I don't know. I guess they like what they like. That's fine. But it's just really, really absurd. He's like over the top douchebaggery. Like, dude, why you gotta be so mean to Max all the time? And I don't know what happened to make their family relocate to Hawkins, but he is so in his feelings about it, and he takes it out on Max, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like that's you would think it'd be an opposite, go from Hawkins to California, not California to Hawkins. So it's like there must have been either one of the parents is probably from the same high school that all of the adults are from, or there was something with the government to make them go come back. It's like, what is the other purpose? Because Hawkins is the small town. You're going from probably some big city in California. It's like, what's the whole
jump? You know what? It's like I don't know if you guys have ever seen Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but there is a scene in that where the woman that he's undercover to watch says that, there's only one reason for, someone from the city would move into a little small sleepy town where supposedly nothing ever happens. And that's if they're trying to run and hide from something. What exactly that something is, we don't know, but it's definitely something that greatly affected Billy. And, there's a theory that he might be battling with his sexuality, and that's why he's so over the top with the machismoism, so to speak. And it kind of, there's a few clues in there, I think, that we catch as the episodes progress, but we never get the actual answer. And for me anyway, my tinfoil, I think Max saw him with someone that, their dad probably didn't think that he should be around. He gives off an air of being racist a little bit sometimes. Not his dad, but Billy. And it doesn't, I can't say it doesn't make sense because he is an angsty teenager, like a lot of these kids on the show. but there's something extra that we don't know about yet for the reason that they moved. And there's a reason I think that, you know, their dad is such a, you know, hard ass on him. So I'm very interested in seeing if that plays out in season 3.
So would you
What do you
compare him to Loris Tyrell or no?
No, for as ridiculous as Loris was and all the drama with him and Renly, Loris is a much better person than Billy is. You know, you put them in the ring, I'm pretty sure Loris would mop the damn floor with him.
Yeah. I mean, because that would be an interesting development for the show, because I don't think they've really brought in an LGBTQ plus type character yet in the show, unless it's like an undefined person or a person in the background.
Right.
So, I mean, if they do, good job, because it's the 80s, and you know, there's that whole thing with the 80s. So, I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, now we can kind of talk about the other part, even though we've talked about bits and parts of these episodes, and the party that they all, besides Jonathan, got invited to. And Nancy's like, here you go. So they're going to a party, which I'll admit it, I was the loser and I never went to those types of parties, but I can imagine that the parties are like that. And Nancy's just like, here, I'll just drink whatever's in the punch bowl. It's like, oh no, this is not going to end very well. And thankfully, it wasn't too crazy. It was just a whole bunch of alcohol, but it was like a slushy and like punch. So it was like, I was like, what? And then she gets drunk off of it, and she fights with Steve. And we obviously have Billy in there too. And is it like, there's probably going to be a popularity contest between Steve and Billy, because it's like that was a huge thing of like, oh, here to beat your keg stand timing or whatever it's called. It's like, oh no, there's going to be drama between the teenagers.
Yeah. I mean, and actually, let me backtrack just a little bit to when, you know, Nancy did get an extra flyer, and she was telling Jonathan that, you know, you're coming to this. And in the middle of the damn conversation, Steve just pops in out of nowhere, extremely rude, and basically just snatches Nancy up. And, you know, I think he did that because, you know, jealous feels. Like I said, he feels that Nancy's slipping away, and Jonathan's probably the threat in that situation. And he just comes in being ridiculously rude. And then we get to this party, and you see his old friend, Steve's old friend from season 1. He's now hanging out with Billy, and everybody's all excited because he beat the keg stand record that Steve used to have. And they come in talking about, yeah, Steve, you know, this is the new king. And Steve, you know, he tries to play cool and takes off his, you know, sunglasses, because for whatever fucking reason he has sunglasses on in the house. And, you know, he there's this little mini stare down that they do before they cut to the next scene. I'm just looking at it like, really? Is this what these parties are for? But, you know, it's whatever. You know, Nancy basically says, fuck it all. She gets drunk. Her and Steve end up going up to the restroom, and Steve's trying to calm her down. And Nancy's, you know, she's got that liquid courage now. She's like, you know what? This is some fucking bullshit. All this is some nonsense. I'm tired of it. Fucking tired of you. You're about bullshit also. And Steve gets all in his feelings. Like, you don't love me? No, bitch, she don't. How the fuck can't you tell? You fucked up your chance, my G. I mean, what do you really expect from this woman? You totally, you know, shit the bed. So now you got to start dealing with the consequences.
Especially after you pour probably a full cup of whatever alcohol she was having on top too, and it covers the whole front of her outfit. It's like, thanks. It's like she's like, I was having a good time, and then it got ruined. And then the fight obviously leads to Jonathan to the rescue, but Panda.
Yeah, we're in episode 2, right? Because I had to like step away for a second. So
yeah,
starters, like I'm happy I didn't go to these type of parties because again, I've been just like loud music. I pretty much didn't like alcohol, which I probably would have drank, not knowing it was spiked. Get drunk, go home. My mom probably beats me. He's like, how you come back from a party and you're damn drunk? You're a fool. So yeah, and also like what AK was saying, it's pretty much like the end of the relationship between Nancy and Steve within this damn episode. And either I was watching this, I was like, okay, why couldn't this just simply just happen in season 1? Where you see Nancy open the door to her new boyfriend, Jonathan, and not just having just give her the freaking damn gift, or she gave him a gift. I 100% remember that point. And then you freaking much see Steve there. It's like, no, he could have just saved us from this damn thing, though. But anywho, you also have like Jonathan talked to some chick named Samantha or so. Like Mackenzie, you think that's gonna be like a new relationship, and then Nancy's gonna get jealous? What you think?
Yeah, real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead. Okay.
Jonathan's smart enough to know that he needs to get Nancy home and, really not allow her to drink anymore. And, I will give him a little bit of props on that. He still cared enough to have, someone that he knows she trusts with everything take her home. And that's Jonathan. But my issue is with the fucking parents in this damn town. How the fuck this little boy walked through the front door carrying your drunk as shit passed out daughter and no one notices?
It's dairy.
How in the fuck did he get up to her room without no question? No pops in the living room talking about where the fuck were you? Mom, and their mom is usually on it, but for whatever reason, she's disappeared. And you got a whole ass fucking boy in your teenage daughter's room. How do you not know? This is the second time this shit has happened. The boy spent the night last season and they didn't know until mom busted in her room. Like, really? Come the fuck on.
Yeah, it's
Let me have tried to pull that shit with my mom. I would not be here today. Y'all would have seen it. Y'all would have seen it on the fucking news. Like, oh damn, it's a shame how Allison fucked Alicia up. We don't know what happened, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
there's no fucking way.
I think how they probably wrote that in the script is like, Karen is taking care of baby Holly, and whatever Mr. Wheeler's first name is just like, and he was passed out, like asleep or something like that, something stupid like that to make it kind of like that. But I mean, yeah, and also just with the whole thing of taking care of her while she's drunk, and the fact that she wakes up and realizes that it was Jonathan that took her home. It's like, okay, like nice. That whole thing is just nice, and because he's like the one he's the dependable friend, but I don't think he'll be the friend for much longer, because especially if she's not in a relationship with Steve. And I don't think that the girl is going anywhere with Jonathan anytime fast. I mean, I feel it's like, oh, that's nice to have somewhat of an intention from the opposite sex besides Nancy, but I don't think he's not really gonna go anywhere anytime soon. If anything, it'll be like hi, this is my girlfriend, but not really, so to speak. But I don't think it's really going anywhere anytime fast. Is there any? No, there's nothing else with
I
the
think,
teenagers. Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, so we get 11, and we get her flashback to Hawkins Middle School, where we see what happened to her after the events of episode 8. So the Demogorgon versus 11. But did you when you first watched this, you're like, ooh, what did you think about that?
Let's see. When my mind was kind of full of theories when I saw that, and I forget what channel it was, but someone had did a breakdown of that scene, and they theorized, I think it's probably been proven wrong already, but they think that maybe it was when the Demogorgon disappeared, that it was possibly 11's mom had mutated somehow and become the Demogorgon. So like when it's starting to disappear near the very end, there's like this white shimmer light or something that happens that goes like straight into 11. I don't know if that would necessarily prove that, you know, the Demogorgon used to be human at some point, but I mean, it's Stranger Things, so it was kind of plausible. But I don't think that was the case. But I think 11 knew. That's why she turned around and said, you know, goodbye to Mike. That if she didn't die there, she would probably die in the Upside Down, sending that thing back through the portal. But, you know, I think she might have been knocked out for a bit. You know, she woke up panting and looking around like she's in the school, but not in the actual school. It's the Upside Down school. And she makes herself a gateway. And of course, the first thing she goes searching for is Mike. And Mike, forever the soldier, these, you know, Hawkins / FBI random government people are saying, you know, if you know anything, son, you need to let us know. If she tries to contact you, she's very dangerous. You know, you have to tell her. And Mike is just like, nah, bitch, nah. If I see her, I ain't telling you a fucking thing. Even if I knew something now, I'm still not telling you a damn thing. Catch all of these hands. Fuck you, and fuck you. Who's next?
Will is a ride or damn die. Friend, gotta get you one of those. Like, and just seeing how he was even saw her and he's still like looking for her, and that was like that confirmation, like why it was either just faith alone or did he know, but he didn't know that she was still out there. And Hopper hasn't told Will at all, so he just doesn't even know. Okay, was I seeing things that night?
Will.
Oh, excuse me. Keep on confusing the damn names. Mike. Thank you for catching me. So yeah, so he doesn't even know if he actually did see 11 that night, or was he just simply just seeing things, you know? So that's another good thing.
Now I think he did see her, and it kind of threw him into shock a little bit. Like that's why, you know, they're calling his name and he's non-responsive, because I think in his head he's like, oh my God, she's right there. And he wants to, yeah, you can see the wheels turning a little bit in his head. Like he wants to go run outside and give her a hug and whatnot. But he's frozen because, you know, these people have been threatening him and he doesn't know what to do with all that. He just knows that he's not going to rat on his friend at all. And, you know, they catch him staring and they think, okay, maybe she might be outside. They go out there, do a perimeter check and radio in other soldiers, but you know, by the time they actually get out there, 11's gone and she's, you know, running, hiding in the woods. And you know, we do see her find the Eggos in the little box. I don't think that Hopper did that because he knew she would be there. I think he was just hoping against all hope that she would be there, and he recognized if she is, then she's gonna need some food and whatnot. So he put all that stuff in there just in case. And you know, I think we see when he goes back to check on it and he sees the stuff gone, and you know, he does a small look around, but then starts to walk away, not seeing any signs of anyone, and then 11 catches him. And that's how we get to her going to the cabin and all that stuff. He basically became her caretaker. And honestly, I don't think that the only other person that would have been great at that is Joyce. But we can't have her at Joyce's house because that would not be safe. So she has to stay in the cabin.
Yeah, far away. Yeah, with 11, I mean, it's cool because we've got to see how everybody else kind of got away from the Demogorgon, and specifically episode 8 of last season, but we didn't get to see how 11 got to where she is, which is cool that they took the time to actually do that. And I guess 11 just likes plain waffles for like as just a snack. We obviously see her later with probably one with butter and maple syrup, but it's like just her go-to thing. It's just plain waffles. Just like Hey,
I mean,
don't.
you know, waffle batter, even without syrup, a lot of times does have a certain sweetness to it. And you think, you know, she grew up in that little tiny ass room in that science complex, so she's probably never had anything that tastes good like waffles. So yeah, that's like her drug of choice. She's all for it.
It's like,
Can't blame her.
all the waffles. Yeah, and
Is it just the taste of waffles or the connection of how she got those damn waffles from freaking Mike? Damn it, the feels.
Okay,
Damn
yeah,
feels.
you know what, I got a reference. You'll appreciate this. BBM. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Always fucking waffles. And if you don't
Always.
know what we're talking about, chat room, go watch fucking Marvel's Cloak and Dagger. Damn it, you'll get it.
yeah, I'll have to. That's on my list of things to watch. And yes, Johnny, of course, I'd bring up the maple syrup. Why not? I'm Canadian.
Maple syrup is delicious.
I know, exactly. Maple syrup is awesome. And yes, waffles are also
You know what? I
supreme.
might end up buying that new Santa Funko just to ship it to you, and then you just ship me some of this damn maple syrup. It's an even exchange.
All right, sure, I'll go find some. There's, it's not that hard to find. They have them at the grocery store. It's weird because they have like the table syrup, and then they have the maple syrup in the same aisle. So it's like some people think like Aunt Jemima is real maple syrup. It's like no, that's table. That's table syrup. It's like nope. Yeah, maple syrup is just supreme. Yeah, because we see in the present day version that Hopper's making breakfast for 11, and it's like waffles. I think it's like waffles with whipped cream and something else.
Yeah, that was after he said he was going to take her trick-or-treating, but then he got into investigating more of the pumpkin situation. And that little kid, for whatever fucking reason, there's a damn 5-year-old walking around the fucking streets of Hawkins at night. Again, what in the fuck with these parents?
Yeah.
It is damn near midnight. Do you know where your children are? Have you checked the children? Clearly not, because this little boy is walking around out here by himself.
With like a fake gun too. And he's like, bang, and he's like
Like
shooting
after
at
the Will situation, I think parents should be like more safeguard of the damn kids in this town.
Right.
But apparently not.
Like, I understand if like the kids are, you know, like freshman age and up, and they're going out trick-or-treating with their friends. This little boy could not have been more than 5, and he was by himself. What in the actual hell? That is ridiculous. But he does help Papa remember that, holy fuck, I was supposed to take her trick-or-treating so she could be in the outside world. You know, she probably has cabin fever by now. You know, she doesn't like being closed in because that's how she grew up most of her life, and she wants to be away from that. And, you know, 11's mad, justifiably so. You made her a promise and you broke that shit. So he had to think of a technique, you know, to get her out the room so they can continue to talk and bond and whatnot. And of course, Eggos would be the key to that. So yeah, he made like a quadruple decker stack of Eggos with whipped cream and sprinkles and all this other stuff. And honestly, for me, I'm not that big a fan of whipped cream. And when it comes to waffles, I don't think that sufficiently does it. No, I need a little bit of syrup on there, preferably maple or corn syrup. They're delicious. I don't know who taught Hopper how to make Eggos, but he's failing a little bit at that. No, that's just my opinion, though.
Speaking of damn Eggos, a quick Funko Pop intermission. Oh, 11, you know, Funko Pop holding damn Eggos. Damn it, amazing, damn amazing.
Yo, no, I public service announcement, y'all. Stay the fuck away from 11's waffles. You know, let go all of her Eggos or you will regret it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because you saw what happens last season when you interrupt her when she's Eggo shopping. It just doesn't end very well for the store. Yeah, because he taught her the word compromise and what compromise means. And then he basically termed it to halfway happy. So There you go.
That was a good analogy to get her to understand it. Like, there's so much in the world that, she doesn't know. And I think Hopper's doing a decent job. He is, slightly harsh at times, I think, but he needs to be. It's dangerous. You can't just go outside all willy-nilly. 11, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
happens.
I think he's adjusting very well, because we can assume that his daughter might be just that age or slightly older, because they don't ever give like the age that Sarah was when she died. But it's him trying to deal with that, which is he's adjusting very well for a person to deal with a small child, or a preteen / early teenager.
Right.
But the little boy, I was like, the little boy was shooting at Hopper. It's like, what? It's like, thanks, little kid, for now shooting at the sheriff. It's like, smart idea, right? Not. And yeah, he's like, give me your candy. It's like, oh, Hopper. It's like, now you're gonna rob the little kid of his candy.
And I mean, he paid him for it.
Yeah. But in that split second, I'm like, oh, thanks. And then when he comes home, he's like, I'm just gonna eat this candy all by myself. I might give myself a heart attack, or I'm gonna go really, really fat. And it's just like, that's the automatic, I guess, the 80s and this that.
No, that's typical dad response.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It was also I think also heart health was such a really big thing too. Probably. So it's like, if I eat this one piece of candy, oh no, too. But also the parental type of joke. And it's just some fun stuff.
I remember the apple thing, supposed to eat apples, the bar for apples thing. There's like razors inside. I don't know if that was like around the 80s or so, or before.
Oh yeah, plastic and fruit and like candy. Oh, so crazy. But yeah, they just have that loving relationship, and yeah, it's just fun to see these two act together, especially with an adult actor and a child actor. It's like how she can still stand up to his acting, because that's sometimes hard with child actors and grown adults to act anything together, but I think they do it very well. Anything else kind of want to bring up with Hopper and 11 before we just go to like Hopper's thing, which is not that much, just continuing on the pumpkin patch storyline. Yeah. And then I guess we'll talk about the kids going trick-or-treating, and they're all dressed as Ghostbusters, not the remake, the original. And they're fighting about who got to be which character, because I think it's Lucas and Mike who show up as the same character, and it's like, I don't know, they like have that fight, and no one else in school is wearing a costume. Like, ooh, it's like no one knew about that, and all the Halloween trick-or-treating stuff. Anything want to bring up?
Yeah, they're all excited about this, and parents are taking pictures. Mike, he's still angsty preteen, and his mom's trying to be so chipper and cheerful. He's just looking at her like, can I go to school now? Like, why are we still here with this nonsense? And they get there, Mike and Lucas, have a small random spat because of the character that they both chose. But more importantly, moving on from that, we see the dynamic duo of Lucas and Dustin basically trying to holla at Max, and neither of them are succeeding. I don't think that they've truly acknowledged just yet that they're acting the way they're acting, because they, I think, are both experiencing their first crush. But it's interesting to see the dynamic, and once trick-or-treating does come around, they invited her to come with them, and she jumps around the corner once they're there and scares the holy hell out of all of them. And, you know, Dustin and Lucas are glad that she's there. They run after her, and Mike is being Brody Mike again. And he doesn't, I think his main issue is he doesn't like Max because he thinks that she could possibly take 11's place, and he doesn't want that to happen. Like, you know, his party is changing around him, and he doesn't know how to process all of that just yet after everything that happened, even though, you know, Will is back now. But, you know, he goes on, and Will has another episode, and Mike, of course, is the one that comes and checks on him to get him back up, make sure he's okay. And I love their friendship. I think it's very awesome. Like, all of them truly do look out for each other, and it's spectacular to see. They really lucked out with the kid actors that they've gotten for this. So I think the whole Halloween thing was sold, you know, very freaking well. And that's about it.
I love the damn Ghostbuster montage. Even the parents going in, singing cheese and stuff. Then you have Lucas's like sister.
Dude, his sister is everything. She gave me all the life. She's like, that's why you're a damn nerd. No wonder you hang around all boys. And, you know, mom is there. She's trying to mediate between the two siblings. And my girl doesn't even miss a beat. She's like, I'm just stating facts. Like, it's not even an opinion. It's an actual fact, Mom. Come on now.
To the point I was wondering, okay, are we going to actually get like more of her in season 3, and seeing how Funko finally made like a new, you know, character for their like Stranger Things Funko set. They actually have her. So I can't wait to see, okay, what like role is she going to be playing, you know, within season 3 of damn Stranger Things. So. But you could see like they're pretty much growing up to the point that even like Lucas is changing, because before in season 1, he was against a chick like joining, you know, the group. And he's like more welcoming of Max. He's okay, some character development with you now, you know. And I could just see them two just pretty much pining after damn Max. So she had a good Halloween costume. She has, you know, Mike Myers to do. Like, love that franchise. Just seeing her as that, I'm like, okay, cool, very cool there. And I forgot to freaking mention one thing, but it just like slipped my mind. But hopefully, it'll probably just come back to me when the stream damn ends, and they'll just tell Mackenzie just like run it back up, and then I'll say what I have to say.
Start a new stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got the kids and the trick or treat. The kids.
Uh-oh, Kenzie's frozen again.
Oh, did I freeze? Oh,
yeah.
The Halloween costumes and how no one else is in a costume was just, I think that was just to be more comedic than it was because to be more of just like it's like everybody else just didn't want to dress up for Halloween kind of thing. It's just like to make it look like, oh, they did all this work and then they're the only kids dressed up, and how Max was just like, ha ha, like you just why kind of that whole thing. And I think too, like they said, I think it is their first kind of real crushes, so to speak. Because, you know, Mike's kind of already experienced that with 11, and for Dustin and Lucas to experience it, and for the same girl, will be interesting to kind of watch it play out. And as you were saying, then about the whole thing with Dustin, Lucas's sister, it's like now we'll have pretty much all of the generations minus an elderly group involved in the show. So maybe season 3 they'll explore the grandparents or the great grandparents of this series, because you get the babies, pretty much the little sisters and the little brothers, and then you get the middle group, and then the teenagers, the adults. So it's like all you need is the senior citizens of Hawkins to show up, and then
that's a good point. I don't think we have like, you know, any elders really part of the plot really in like either season. So that would be interesting if they do like, you know, have like, you know, an elderly character. It would be interesting.
It makes me think of the Kids Next Door. Like the kids were the ones always going through and solving the crimes, and, you know, teenagers were always on some fuck shit because they were working with the adults, and the adults were the big enemy. That's why the kids next door were formed, so they could combat all the evilness of that. So I could see it being interesting if they spun a tale that was reminiscent of that. I wouldn't be mad at it. I would definitely watch.
Yeah. And then-
Also, I remember what I blanked out. This
Okay.
episode reminds me when I was in, I think it was either kindergarten or preschool. I dressed up as freaking Darth Maul. So it just gave me just flashbacks of that. When I went to school dressed up, Halloween too. So that was it.
And also, why did the boys think that everyone was dressing up for Halloween? Usually, if there is a school-wide activity like that, you get bulletins sent home. I'm kind of at a loss as to why the boys thought that everybody was going to be dressing up. Maybe they were nostalgia from what happened last year, but it just seems like they didn't read the room correctly.
Yeah. I think it was more for like the audience to make us go, oh, so now everybody besides them got the memo and they just didn't. Plus, hey, the costume department did an ace job on the Ghostbusters costumes. And
Yeah, they did.
it's like, yeah, especially because I think that's when because there was the remake that was coming out with, I think it was like All the Ladies was like the summer 2018 or something like that. So kind of cool timing for that. Plus the movie was probably very relevant in the 80s. And we got the party. Yeah, it's not that much besides when the kids go home. Dustin hears something in the trash can. So, what was in the trash can is yet to be figured out. But now Dustin's getting weird things being visited at his house.
Yeah, it's almost fitting that it would be Dustin because he's like the extra learned one of the group when it comes to studying animals and whatnots. And he finds what they call a polywog, but he like almost immediately goes into gear, trying to take care of this thing and then trying to figure out what it is exactly. And he keeps him. I think he names him D'Artagnan, and he keeps him for the night. The next day he goes to school and he's got D'Artagnan in his bag, and he tells the whole crew, including Max, to meet him in the AV lab because he's got.
Hold up, are we spoiling for Mackenzie or no?
What?
I've seen clips, but it's like not the whole plot of the.
Okay.
Isn't that in episode
No,
2? Did I jump ahead?
No, you jumped.
Oh shit, my bad.
Okay. Stop.
Oh wait, no. So we ended with Dustin finding the thing, right? Okay,
yeah.
My bad. That's the
Don't
end
worry.
of the episode.
It's okay because I had to look up what the episode titles were called. So when I would say what the next episode were, so I knew it was called that. So it's fine. Don't worry.
Right, my bad. I will shush.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. But yeah, we kind of just end off with Dustin. It's like, what's going on? Because everybody else is kind of left, like as awake for like and stuff. But yeah, we see. I think the last thing besides that is, Will confides in Mike about what his visions are, and it's like at least someone knows what Will is seeing besides his mom because he does, and it's just like I got you, buddy, kind of thing, which is sweet and cute because it's like they each Buyer/Wheeler sibling got their I got you, buddy situation with Jonathan taking care of Nancy, and like I said, we said earlier,
and Mike taking care of Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do really enjoy that dynamic with them. And Mike again shows how much he's still going through and processing and dealing with his feelings. Because as soon as Will tells him exactly what's up, and he doesn't feel like anyone would understand, Mike is like, nah, 11 would understand completely. And I think that's probably one of the first talks that we see them have about 11, just between those two. So I think it's, things are going to get interesting from here on out.
Yeah, because Will's not really knowledgeable about 11, so that'll be very cool to see that relationship itself grow, because we know who else is like 11 with the boys besides Will, so that'll be a nice relationship to grow. And any thoughts about the last bit before we kind of wrap up?
So yeah, I was worried that whatever was in that damn garbage can wasn't gonna take, Dustin away. That was the only thing I was worried about when I saw that freaking thing moving. Like, come on now. Come on now.
It's
Better be his damn cat. It better be his damn cat.
it's the Demogorgons in the trash can. It's just like waiting, like a miniature version. It's just waiting to pounce.
I mean, after seeing all the shit that they did last season, I would be highly suspect of random sounds around my house at night. I can't blame the kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the final thoughts, and then like your ranking for the 2 episodes. You can rank them however you want.
All right. My final thoughts. Billy is a jerk. I still don't like Steve. Max is a great addition to the party, even though she isn't officially a part of the party, and Mike is definitely not feeling her because he thinks she's trying to take 11's place, and I don't think that's the case at all, but we'll explore that as the season progresses. As far as rating, let's see. I will give, collectively, both episodes all together, I'll say an 8.5, maybe 8.5 pieces of nugget to D'Artagnan is how I'll rate that, because we got a few tiny bit of answers, but there were more and more questions that popped up, and I like the intrigue of it, so I will definitely be staying tuned, and we'll be discussing again sometime next week.
And
Final thoughts. 1, I don't trust these damn adults at all. 2, Max, keep my eye on you. We still don't even know the full scope of why the freaking Maxer family, and Billy moved. For we know, they're working for freaking people in that damn lab. Got my eye. Another thing, Billy, I hate your guts. The actor is pretty damn good because he was in Power Rangers. He was cool. I liked him. In this damn role, I despise him. So hell, he must be that good of an actor, though. I look forward to any other projects. I'm gonna see him in the damn near future and within this damn season, maybe. Because when I first watched it, I didn't think that he could have been the cause of his homosexuality. But I remember it was in a stream of live previous year when this thing came out, and she put that out. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe I was rewatching some scenes. I'm like, you probably hear this on it.
If you look how he acts in that shower scene and on the basketball court, the signs are there.
Yeah, but ratings, I'll probably have 8 out of 10. Kid, give me a damn candy. Probably got some Reese's Pieces up in there, some M&Ms. Maybe some Malamars up in there. I'll be shocked if they got some Malamars up in there. So yeah. Good. It was good, opening, first 2 episodes, latest season, what we're going to be expecting within this damn season. You probably could hear the freaking ambulance or it could be a police sirens in the damn background. Seriously, I can't stream without some type of background noise. They don't let me do.
It's the sounds of New York, man. You should be used to it by now.
Yeah, it's New York. Sometimes, not all the time, we get it here, and I'm just like, God damn it, because right down the street is a firehouse. But for me, the rating, both 8.5. What's in the damn trash can for episode 2, and for episode 1, waffles and words with Hopper. Yeah, it's so interesting. And I guess would you have ever what you have coming up for your channel and all that stuff. Fandom and AK.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, because normally you unmute first. So yeah, once again, thank you for having me on, Mackenzie, talking about Stranger Things with both you and AK, with her damn many titles, from not giving two fucks about the 100 anymore because what they did about Lexa, to fuck them damn kids, because there's so many kids in these damn episodes. Like, seriously, leave damn well alone. Stop calling me a freaking zombie boy, you know? Also, if you want to find me on my channel, Phantom D saying do several reactions to several shows. Like, so far it's been just the 100th this week, but next week I'm gonna start like watching some more shows. Like, finally Legion has returned for its final season. I can't wait to see how that even concludes. You know, I'm trying to gonna watch Swamp Things because people saying like, oh, the Swamp Thing on DC streaming service is actually pretty good, so check that out. And as well as Umbrella Academy. I've been like saying I'm gonna damn react to this, and I'm going to react to it next week. If I don't, hunt me down, tie me up, put a camera in front of me, and hell, I'll react to it then.
Yes, I highly recommend Umbrella Academy myself. So yeah, you know, this has been an awesome chat. Again, thank you, Kenzie, for having me on. It's always fun hanging with Fandom D Saint and Mackenzie, and all of our other homies. Johnny's usually on our streams, but he needed to get some good rest, and I hope that he is able to do that for the rest of the evening. Coming up, I'm still on the fence whether I want to live react to the TV show Siren or not. If you like mermaid lore, it's on Freeform, comes on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I will continue to do live reactions for season 2 of Pose. That comes on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern time. If you like the show or you just want to come randomly chat and hang out with me, come through. Besides that, eventually me and Johnny will have another date for another round of They Deserved It at some point. I think that is it. I'll be prepping for Con of Thrones, which is only a couple of weeks away now. I will be on a panel with Tony Teflon and a few other good folks. So if you're going to be at the con and you see me before I see you, come say what's up. And besides that, I think that is it. I'll probably be back next week, schedule permitting, to talk about episode 3 and 4. And if I don't see y'all then, I'm always in everybody's chats. So that's where I will be. Thanks everybody for coming out and hanging with us tonight.
No problem at all. So you can find me here, where on Sunday, actually, we'll be talking about 3 Polywog and 4 Will the Wise, and then because 5 and 6 be next Wednesday. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Terry T, OTD, Alicia Kingston, still don't know who she is. Johnny Be Crazy, another one where you're like, who's this? Step to Shane Secrets, Fandom D Saint, John Del Vento music. Go check out. I think he did it his first stream tonight.
Yeah,
so
he was on earlier. Definitely
I thought it
go
was
check
supposed
it
to be
out.
on Thursday, and
Yeah.
YouTube didn't even put on my notifications. Like, this is ridiculous.
YouTube don't want us to be great, man.
No, they don't. Danny McKay and Peter Griffin, and I think Dornis Wench, Terry T. And if I don't find you, Blue Rooster.
Blue Rooster, I think Forrest Blurda was in earlier as well.
Yeah, Dornis Wench. Yeah, there was some great people in the chat. I don't know if I can scroll up because I did drop for a second. So, yeah, if I didn't call your name out, I apologize, and you can yell at me in the chat. But yeah, we'll be talking about Polywog and the Wise on Sunday. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff. And shout out to the patrons, because gotta do that. Bobby Catalano, Catherine Harding, Nancy T, and Dark Mother, and Seth. We'll see you all on Sunday or Saturday. Bye, everyone.